I grew up in mid-Devon, surrounded by guitars, musicians, sawdust and music all the time, everywhere. My stepfather is Andy Manson, who is a kind of world-renowned acoustic guitar maker, and he built his first guitar in 1967. He's one of the founding fathers of British guitar making scene, really. The guitar making workshop was at home, and so I was always intrigued by the sort of Aladdin's cave aspect of that. Even when I had no idea what I wanted to do when I was a kid, and people would ask you at school all the time, careers advisors or whatever, what do you want to do, what do you want to do? And it was always like, it's got to be music related. I started working for Andy on my days off from college, sort of getting in the way and probably being a bit useless. But the idea was to go and earn a bit of pocket money and make tea and sweep the floor and that kind of thing. And I started to become really interested in guitars in general. As I finished my A-levels, Andy's brother Hugh Manson, who's also a well-renowned electric guitar maker, he runs a retail store in Exeter, and he offered me a full-time job. From then on, I was just obsessed with guitars. The first couple of guitars were sort of inspired by the classics rather than original designs. And I did that for a few years in my spare time. And then eventually it kind of got to the point where I knew creatively that I really wanted to give it a shot full time and start designing my own original stuff. Andy's been very influential on me in so many different ways. Most of my design work is stylistically influenced by his work, and a lot of the shapes of my curves and the way my lines flow is me trying to pay homage to the elegance of his work. And I think anyone who knows his work will clearly see the influence in my work. Andy's guitars are very handmade. It's primarily a carving knife, a glue pot, and a couple of clamps, and you'll end up with a guitar at the end. When I started making guitars, that's how I was building guitars as well. No fancy machines or anything. These days I tend to incorporate CNC technology into the build, but there's an awful lot of handwork still involved, and I find it incredibly satisfying every time I get out the chisels or the plane or my carving knife. It's a really meditative type of work as well, because you have to be so focused on what you're doing that it draws you into the present, and you don't have too much time for your mind to be wandering about. The time that goes into the build is so important. A great guitar is a combination of like 100 things done well. And when I talk about integrity in my work, that's what I sort of refer to. Every stage of the process in its entirety is, how can this be better? And how can this last longer? I love the idea of creating a legacy with my work, and I'd always really liked the term heirloom quality, and I thought that's exactly what I'm trying to do with my guitars. My part of the story is just the beginning of the instrument story, and everything that happens after it leaves me, it takes on its own life. And you don't know where that might take it. It might stay in one family forever. It might change hands every 2 years for 50 years. It might play in smoky clubs in Nashville, or it might be in a pristine collection somewhere in London. You just don't know. You want the instruments to inspire, that's what it's all about. And so sure, I get to be creative in the process of building the guitar, but its purpose is to fulfill your creativity as the player. That's what I find really exciting about it.